This is Cupcakes Comic Reviews. I'm Sam, and today I'm going to be doing a quick comic review on the Mortal Kombat X by DC Comics. All 3 volumes. This is written by Shawn, art by Dexter Soy mostly, and some others as well. So yeah, let's jump right in. Alright, and here we are with Volume 1, Blood Ties. So before I go any further than this, I would like to let anybody who doesn't already know that that Mortal Kombat is a very mature and bloody franchise. So while I'm flipping through this, there's going to be a lot of blood, a lot of violence. So if you're, maybe of a younger audience or just squeamish and don't really like that sort of thing, I would go ahead and click off this video now. And if you are a fan of violence in fiction, of course, like myself, then maybe stay tuned because I'm going to get into all of this. So this starts off with just this beautiful 2-page spread, and this is one of my favorite 2-page spreads in all of comics. I don't know why. I love the hell out of this thing, so I wanted to let you admire it with me for a while. So, right off the bat, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. Like, I've played the games religiously. I've collected all of the McFarlane toys, Mortal Kombat figures. I've been a fan of this since I was I was way too young to be a fan of this, but I've loved Mortal Kombat for just about as long as I can remember. Some of my best memories are playing Armageddon with my friends when I was way too young to be playing Armageddon with my friends. And these comics fit right in for me, personally. I've read these particular comics about 3 times, and I've loved reading them about 3 times. So this sets up the story for Mortal Kombat X. It's a prelude, and it sets up some of the new characters that we have in Mortal Kombat X. So like the Combat Kids, Cassie, Jackie, Takeda, and then the older, newer characters like Kotal Khan and Ferritor, etc. While also staying true and bringing back some of the older beloved characters, like obviously Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but also lesser known characters that we haven't seen in a while, like Reiko plays a huge part, Havoc, Kintaro, Goro. And it's just, I don't really know how to put this into words, how much I've just really enjoyed the hell out of these comics. The art fits so well, and it's so beautifully done. And Shawn Kittleson, he really understands Mortal Kombat and the writing, how to write these characters, and you can really tell. So what is these particular stories about? Well, they mainly focus on the Kamidogu daggers. So these deal with blood magic. And blood magic is something that's kind of a new concept to Mortal Kombat, like recently. Mortal Kombat 9, as I think the first time I can really remember it being a really big thing with Scarlet as the DLC character there. So, but these are on a whole new level. So basically, even on their own, they're like super destructive. They infect, they basically turn people into the darkest versions of themselves, just hell-bent on violence and death. But if you put them together, that's a whole new beast entirely. So when they come together, it's basically pure chaos. Nothing good comes out of it. And that's kind of what, our heroes are trying to stop. And I say heroes lightly when referring to Mortal Kombat characters. Because even like the most heroic of them would be considered anti-heroes in any other place other than the Mortal Kombat universe. So I don't want to spoil too much of the overall plot, but what I will say is that the plot is pretty simple, but quite good. Because the main reason for it is to give us backstory on characters we don't know, which it definitely does. So as far as I can remember, it goes the most into Kotal's backstory, Kotal Khan. We get to see basically his entire life through flashbacks in the pages of these comics. And what I gotta say is, Kotal Khan in the games, kind of a wimp. Like, if you've played the games that he's been in, Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, you would know that Kotal Kahn tends to lose a lot. He's kind of a wimp, but he is not a wimp in these comics, man. Not at all. Like, you call that wimpy? I don't call that a wimp. But he loses a lot in the games. It's kind of all he ever does. But these comics, man, he doesn't fuck around. And speaking of not fucking around, these comics don't fuck around. Like I've said a couple times now, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and to me, this fits in great. That's why I decided to talk about it today, because, I wanted to do a review, and I was looking on my shelf, and, man, I was like, damn, I want to let people know about this. So, if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, or a fan of good, comics in general, or just a fan of, good storytelling in general, I would definitely recommend picking up these 3 volumes. As far as I know, this is the only way to get them, other than the single issues. Sadly, I don't think they ever released a hardcover for these. I really wish they did, but, that's the way it goes in comics sometimes. But you can get these 3 trade paperbacks, or read it digitally, I think. It's probably available digitally somewhere. And I would definitely recommend it. That being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, guys. We do have a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. The Facebook group is a great place to just interact with people who love comics. We have a lot of experts on a lot of things. So we have a guy who's an expert on the Valiant universe. So if you've been wondering about the Valiant universe and want to get into it, just come in there and ask. I could probably personally answer any questions you have about Mortal Kombat, most likely. I don't know if I could answer every question about Mortal Kombat, but I think I'm knowledgeable enough that I could let you know most of the things you want to know. And I'm also pretty knowledgeable on Star Wars, so if you have any questions about that, that's probably my biggest fandom that I relate to. We have guys who are experts on, Top Cow stuff, if you know what Top Cow is from Image Comics. And, it's a great place to just come and talk to people, man. If the only requirement is that you're kind to others and respect each other's opinions, that's really it. So if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you feel like it, and have a great day.